field on weekdays and game days. Insider scoops from Nate Taylor and Josh Briscoe keep you up to date all week long. Former linebacker Derek Johnson and, oh yeah, two-time MVP Patrick Mahomes every Tuesday. Don't miss a minute all season long. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
And welcome into After Hours. Jay Binkley here with you. It's fun. We're bringing this show back from last year. This is a football-type show. And we'll hit other things as well. We'll talk about some Kansas City Royals. Clearly just sitting one game back. Definitely worthy of discussion. But Josh Vernier's got you covered coming up at noon right here at 96.5 The Fan. Your home of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Kansas City Royals, the Kansas State Wildcats. You name it. We're our sister station, KMBZ, with the Missouri Tigers. All right here, but Jacob Mustard producing the operation. Great to see you, my friend. But this is what we do on Sundays. We talk football. We come in after MAC. We did it last year. We talk Chiefs. We talk the KU-MU game, which clearly in Kansas State, which will garner a little bit of attention. But sitting in here now, because he's fresh off his own show, his fantasy football show, and if you're not listening to that, that's your problem. Because Mac makes money, man. Money Mac. Yeah. I call this Mac Attack. What's going on, Mac?
What's going on, Bingster?
What's going on with
baby.
you?
We got a full slate today.
You know what? We do have a full slate, and we have a lot of football to cuss and discuss this morning. But Kansas City Chiefs lose 27-21. We'll get to that. We obviously had the Missouri-Kansas game. You're awful happy because your Tennessee Volunteers win again with Aggie. It was very interesting because Nico, I thought of you last night with Nico. He was down 23-0, UCLA, UNLV, but he came back and had a chance at the end, and it didn't work out. But Nico leaves, goes to UCLA. You guys get Aguiar. It's besides the point. But first of all, what filled your plate the most this weekend, Mac? Because we do like to talk Kansas City Chiefs, but I will bring up KU-MU. I know you went to Tennessee, but clearly you do like local football as well. Did you enjoy that game yesterday?
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, watched the whole thing. It was great. Enjoying some wonderful surf sides. No bubbles, no troubles.
No bubbles, no troubles.
Exactly.
What happens if there's bubbles?
Yeah, then there's troubles. Can't have bubbles. Come on. That's Surfside, baby. So enjoyed that whole game. That was fantastic. I think Missouri showed who they were in that second half, right? They came out and they came better. They came back in the first half, and then they kind of rectified all of their issues. They made the adjustments they needed to make, and it looked good. I mean, I think Jalen Daniels for KU just kind of felt like he was a play or two short, right?
Yeah, I did, and clearly, Kansas looked awesome in the beginning.
They did.
And then all of a sudden, Missouri kept getting on the first downs. Kansas did, and we'll get into that.
People are pissed at Lance Leipold.
You know what? Lance Leipold, I still think that's the right guy for the job. I remember when he was going for the job, I was tweeting out, hey, this is the guy you need to look at.
Yeah.
He's going to have this team turned around at some point. Missouri's pretty good, man. And the
Missouri's
fact they
good. Missouri's solid.
They're at home till October 18th. I mean, and they got Alabama.
Serious?
They got a bye week, and then Alabama coming up. And, of course, they lost to Alabama last year down there. But this is a different Alabama team, even though they looked good yesterday with Kalen DeBoer. But we'll get to that at 11 o'clock. But the reason you're in here is obviously the Kansas City Chiefs, because clearly we'll be looking at the matchup coming up. Like next week, we'll look at the Eagles-Chiefs. That'll be on Sunday. Can the Chiefs go to 1-1, or will they be 0-2? That matters. Man. But Friday night in Brazil, Chiefs lose 27-21. It was a game that they played at their worst, to be honest with you, but yet still had a chance to win. Still, you can look back at it, but they're not going to make excuses. Don't make excuses in this game. I thought it was – we can talk about whether Tart should be thrown out or not. That's beside the point. Chiefs lost the damn game. But the same things recurred, Matt. The same thing that we saw last year, Mac, with this football team. And I look at that, and it's frustrating because you think of the draft, and you think of the players, and you think of the receivers. There's so many things to unpack here. But we've been here before with the Chiefs. I mean, let's not make no mistake about it. When you're at the grocery store, when you're talking to coworkers, when you're getting texts from your friends and saying, oh, man, the Chiefs got some major issues. Well, you said this 2 years ago, coming off the Super Bowl 57 against the Eagles. They opened up the season with the banner dropping against the Lions. They lose 21-20. Then, well, guess what? They rattle off 6 straight wins. They go back to the Super Bowl. It's what they do. We've been here before. 2023. That year, they're 9-6 on Christmas Day. Looks like the sky's falling. The Raiders beat the Chiefs, on Christmas Day at home.
We're screwed. It's
over. And yet they come back. But this is what we do with the Chiefs. This is what we do. But you don't want to keep doing it. And you would love for the Chiefs to go out and get that big lead at the beginning instead of spotting somebody 10 points and saying, all right, let's go back and get them. But I'll be honest with you, Mac. I mean, it is frustrating if you follow the Chiefs each and every week, which I know you guys do on Fesco and Dusty every single morning on your show. But it's a lot of the same issues. Offensive line, they did bring in Josh Simmons. That's fine. Jury's still out on him with this line. Kingsley, I didn't think looked
Kingsley
good.
Looked awful.
Juwan looked terrible. Once again, this was the Mahomes
Juwan was a joke with the penalties.
show.
Total joke.
This was the Mahomes show, 100%.
Carried.
With this team, the defense did not look good as all. The wide receivers clearly have issues with Xavier Worthy being out. So, I mean, it's a lot to unpack, but it reminds you so much of the team from last year.
And that's what pisses me off. And it's like, oh, well, they went to the Super Bowl last year, and even 2 years ago, they had all those problems. They got through them. That doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be pissed off. I want these problems fixed. We've been talking about the same things, Jay, for now. This will be the third season. They don't have a running game. They don't have that running back room is ass. That is going to be a bottom 10 running room. And then if you look at the defense, dude, there ain't no number one wide receiver coming back in week 6 to help out that defense. There ain't no pass rusher coming up in week 6 out of suspension to help out the pressure, the lack of pressure rather, that defense created. They could not get to the quarterback with even 5, Jay.
They had 68 rushes, but nobody got there. Right, except for Drew Tranquil, obviously.
Charles Omenihu, Mike Dana, and Derek Nottie combined for 68 pass rush snaps, 0% win rate, Jay. 0% win rate.
Drew got back there because that's what Spags does. By hook or by crook, he finds a way, whether blitzing somebody from the secondary or the line. But,
to be fancy. You have to be, yes.
I mean, I look at the offseason additions. Obviously, one of the big offseason additions was Jalen Moore. You didn't get to see Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore needs to play. And that was evident watching that game with the Chiefs in Brazil. Then there's the draft. And you think, okay, how much did the new talent infusion help the Chiefs? Well, they didn't in this game. I mean, we could say Josh Simmons, that's fine, he started. But to be honest with you, he did get the second lowest offensive grade. If you go by Pro Football Focus, if you like it, if not, I mean, it's sometimes fair, sometimes it isn't. It was his first game, so I can't put a lot. I can't put a lot on him. But he did give up 4 pressures, did have the 2 penalties. And he was actually graded lower than Juwan Taylor, which we all know because we watched the game with our own eyes. Juwan Taylor was worse, clearly, on that offensive line than Josh Simmons. But Noah Williams got a couple tackles, really wasn't noticeable in the game. Nope. Jalen Royals didn't even play. Your guy from Tennessee, and I like him too, Omar Norman Lott, didn't even play.
Didn't play.
So not a lot of talent.
Gelati played 4 snaps, recorded pressure,
and he showed what he could do. But anyway, they didn't really get that production much. From this draft class. But by the way, Xavier Worthy news. I don't know. Did you see it? This kind of came out during your show.
Right when I came. I covered it a little bit.
This was Ian Rappaport this morning on the NFL Network regarding Worthy, because remember he had his MRI. Once they got back to Kansas City, this is what he had to say for the latest on Xavier. Can you turn my computer?
He suffered a tough loss to the Los Angeles Chargers, but also likely lost one of their top weapons, at least for a period of time. My understanding is Xavier Worthy, the electric receiver who suffered that injury right there to friendly fire, suffered a dislocated shoulder. It is unclear as of right now how much time he's going to miss, still soliciting a second opinion. I am told the most likely option is for him to be able to brace it up and return this season. However, test pending and surgery is still, as of right now, an option.
So you go, Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, on the latest from Xavier Worthy.
They need him back.
They do. And this whole offseason, you look at this receivers. And again, as I've always said, it looks great on paper, but football's not played on paper. You want to see Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy together.
I do, Jay.
The problem is,
damn it,
we just haven't. And last year, you had the injury with Hollywood Brown in the preseason, and he's got to carry the weight for this team now at this point. Rashee Rice gets hurt in Game 4. Xavier Worthy was a rookie, so it's step up, young man. I was really looking forward to seeing Xavier Worthy this year, having that year under his belt, senior year too. But he's got this shoulder problem now, the friendly fire incident with Travis Kelce.
Every year versus the Chargers, paper, friendly fire.
It looks fine, but in reality, it's not. And we hammer on character concerns, or I do, because draft 2 receivers. Don't just go with one. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sky Moore didn't work out.
Nope.
That was your dart they threw. Rasheed Rice worked out, but he's suspended and he was hurt all last year. So that doesn't help you at the current time.
To your point, though, even, Jay, it worked out from a on-the-field perspective, but he hasn't been on the field. So that's why you got to draft 2, because there could have been a second one that could come in. Yes, 100%.
And Xavier Worthy dart. And I know Jalen Royals. People are really excited about the Utah State product. That's
Jalen
fine.
Royals.
But he's got to play.
Because he
had this issue last year with the missed 5 games at Utah State with his foot. I mean, it has happened. So this is why you throw 2 darts, because I'm sure another receiver would help this team as much as Omar Lott. Sorry, I just think it would have.
Jay, or you draft a running back outside the 6th or 7th round.
You don't have to make a trade with the Patriots in the 7th to move down and get Rashard Smith, because you were almost done.
Yeah, you could have had a running back, and if it's not going to be 2 wide receivers, maybe it's a running back and a wide receiver every draft. That way, you at least have some, because this running back room isn't going to help you either right now. Pacheco is, I mean, I said it off the air. Like, dude needs LASIK. He cannot see. He cannot find a gap. Multiple times he's running away.
I'll be honest with you. I've had it.
Really?
It does help.
He's running away from green grass multiple times. Kareem Hunt has absolutely no burst, which we knew. Elijah Mitchell, I don't even think saw the field. And you mentioned it off the air, and I think it's a good call.
Elijah was inactive.
Yeah, exactly. He's inactive. So Brashard Smith, he may see the field coming up in the future, because they need someone who can run a route, and he was a wide receiver for 3 years in college.
To be honest with you, I can see him squeezing out and being more of a wide receiver, because they need that now. Brashard,
they need it.
He spent 3 years at the U in Miami as a wide receiver before SMU moved him to a running back. But again, should have gone earlier in the draft. This year they definitely have to, because you're probably going to lose Pacheco in free agency. And again, we can go on this, down the road or whatever. I mean, but they need to draft a running back.
Didn't draft a running back, man.
But throw darts at receivers, and then, I mean, you got to give Mahomes weapons, man. He was doing everything he could. He's running the football, lowering his shoulder, trucking Dante Jackson of the Chargers, trying to fire his team up is what he was doing.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Mahomes was doing everything he could to fire that group of guys up, because they came out there with a lack of energy.
How?
In Brazil.
I
don't know. It's first game of the year.
We just got our asses kicked 3 months ago. That's all we've talked about.
You should have been
Revenge tour my ass.
Revenge
Where were
tour.
you?
Everybody in the world, downplaying the Chiefs and
we
what they're
came
doing.
out flat. How?
And I knew when they put the Kingdom on, Mac, that it would remind the Chiefs of what happened again. Yep. And that was the good thing about that show on ESPN airing the Kingdom, because you get the reminder. Yeah, there was a lot of other stuff, the history of the organization, but the green confetti. And that pisses you off. That team didn't look pissed off. And
not at all.
You see what happened. Mahomes is trying to do his best he can. But again, as I've always said, Mac, you have a short window to have that quarterback. Yep. And you do everything you can, because the chances are Chiefs will never have a quarterback that good again.
Never.
Keep on. We went from Len Dawson to Mahomes before you go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, it took Joe Montana in the 93 season, the playoff game in 94, to play in the AFC title game. Like, it took freaking Joe Montana. 3rd all-time in postseason wins. Mahomes number 2. But took him.
Yeah.
Right? They don't get there. So you throw as much at your top weapon. You don't have him out there scrambling, doing everything he can.
Carrying
That's why
the team.
you draft receiver. I wanted Keenan Allen in the offseason, back to spring. And everybody, Jay, he's too old. He's washed, blah, 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 blah. I kept hearing it, man. And I kept saying, you know what? He had over 700 yards, 70 receptions with a rookie quarterback that had no line in Caleb Williams.
And he missed a couple games, yeah.
And he missed some games, but he's still one of the better slot receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice played half the time in the slot, half the time outside. And the one thing about him was, you could have got a 1-year deal. And I kept hearing, well, he wouldn't play much. He wants to go somewhere he could play. Well, you get to that age at 33, you will start wanting a ring. And who's to say you wouldn't play a lot here
with
Kansas
here.
City? This was in case of emergency, break glass if Rice is hurt. But you really didn't see a large push. And he sat out there forever. He ends up going back to the Chargers. I get that. But tell me that wouldn't help the Chiefs going forward had they got Keenan Allen. And the other thing, too, is it's twofold. One, he helps your team. Two, he stays away from the Chargers. Because get this, in 16 games against the Chiefs, Keenan Allen, who had 7 for 68 and a touchdown against the Chiefs in Brazil, in 16 games against the Chiefs, he's got 98 catches for 1,151 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's essentially one game less than a full season against the Chiefs. He's dominated you. Had you had him, you keep him the hell away from the division. You keep him the hell away from the Chargers.
Yep. and you actually have someone else to throw to.
I kept hearing he's washed, he's done, blah, blah, blah. I kept hearing all this crap.
And most he can beat man coverage, Binkley. We don't have a wide receiver, especially now without Xavier Worthy, who can actually beat man. Travis Kelce, I mean, dude, we can talk about that later. That's done, Binkley. Like, they cannot count on him the way they needed to anymore. Now, when Rice is back and Worthy is fully healthy, hopefully, again, that happens this season at the same time, and they're actually on the field, yes, Kelce will find some creases, he'll find some green grass, and we'll see a little bit of what he used to be, but he's not a guy anymore that you can go, all right, Kelce, everyone's gone. We need you to get open against double coverage like you used to. 100 yards, 8 catches, that's not happening, dude. That's done. That's not a thing.
Too, is the bickering with the team, and I get it, man. Juwan Taylor needed an ass chewing. He did. I mean, he could add more penalties than what he got. He really could have. Like, he gets that – he tries to jumpstart that Mahomes count, right? Just so he has that extra leg up.
Yep.
Well, if you're not good enough, even without getting that extra leg up, you might not be good enough. But he kept, getting that early start, and he tries to time it just perfect, and it's got to be a distraction to the quarterback with your right tackle doing that. But he needs that extra step. And so he was penalized for the full starts. Josh Simmons got a couple full starts. He had the holding with Juwan Taylor too, but Kelce was mad and yelling at Taylor. Now, to me, that's Andy Reid's job. That's Patrick Mahomes' job. Concentrate on what you do, right? Run the ball out. You could have another touchdown in that game. But that fighting and the Jones and the Tranquil thing, these are not things you want to see from a team that's all in. You wait until your 12-hour flight back from Brazil.
For sure.
Then you jump their ass. You let Andy Reid do it or whatever. But teammates, listen, do they need to be jumped? Yeah. That might not be the place to do it.
So I ask you this, Jay. Week 1, we're negative Nancy's right now. And by the way, because I know I'm going to have to deal with from my guys, Fesco and Dusty, tomorrow, who are going to be a little more positive. That's fine. We need that too. Yeah. We need both sides. But I want to let you know, if you've got a guy telling you, it's the Chiefs, you don't need to be. No, you can be a little upset. It's okay to be mad about this week. Again, we've been talking about these same issues for 3 effing years. We have the best coach, the best GM, the best quarterback. These things should be able to get fixed. They're not. That's frustrating. 1, that's okay to be frustrated. 2, Jay, I ask you, after week 1, does your concern lie heavier on the offense or the defense?
It's a great question, Mac. It's a great question, but I think it's equal at this point. To be quite honest with you, yeah, I think there. Well, there is some. Well, the defense is what carries the offense is a load. I was expecting a lot more from this offense this year. It is concerning, but the wide receiver issue, same there. The offensive line issue still possesses itself.
But you got Mahomes and Andy Reid. On the defense, we don't got that.
Even your highest paid center in the National Football League bounced one off his leg. I mean, in the defense, just let Herbert do whatever he wanted. It was. Again, but we've been here before. That's the bright side. We've been here before.
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago, you lose the Lions game 1 at Arrowhead Stadium. Banner gets dropped, you lose. Okay? You've been there before. You know these things can be corrected. We need to take a time. Can you hang out one more segment, Mac? I feel we got more to do.
Yeah, we got more to do.
We got more to do. Jacob, we'll come right back after this. It's good to have Mac and Jacob here, the Frisbee golfers.
Woo!
Anyway, more on the Kansas City Chiefs next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
This is Creed Humphrey. Kansas City has the best fans in the world and the best bull riding team in the PBR. The Outlaws are looking to win it all this year, but they can't do it without you. I'm the chief of Outlaw Attitude, and I need you to pack the house. So buckle up and make some noise. The Outlaws are coming, and we know KC will be there with us. Come see Kansas City's next dynasty and join me at PBR Team Outlaw Days, October 3rd through 5th.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. I'm letting you know that FanDuel is coming to Missouri. That's right. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, is heading to Missouri. The wait will soon be over. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's tons of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet on everything from the money line, over-unders, to which team you think is going to cut down the nets or win the championship. Build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style is, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can even bet on who you think will score the next touchdown in the game that you're watching and the one after that. So mark your calendars. FanDuel is coming to the good side, Missouri, on December 1st. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook app. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Good morning, Casey's Country. Darn Good Coffee's now 49 cents when you buy any breakfast sandwich or burrito. Some are calling it a great deal. I call it sensational. I'm so sorry. Bad joke. Good deal, though. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. See store for details. Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long.
Here we go.
Starting with a Week 1 NFC North rivalry between the Lions and Packers.
And he's in for a touchdown.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football. It's the only place to hear from Andy Reid on Mondays at noon. It's the only place that has an exclusive one-on-one interview with Patrick Mahomes on Tuesdays at 3:15. And it's the only place to listen to the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Kling on game day.
Touchdown! Kansas City! Travis Kelce owning this game.
This is your home for Chiefs football. This is 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back to After Hours, a football look, and we'll talk some Royals too, unpacking the weekend that was in Kansas City with the Chiefs and local football as well. Drew Nixon resumes his college football talk with me at 11 o'clock on Sundays. Jacob Mustard here producing the operation. Mac Morey from Fesco and Dusty sitting in here. He just had his fantasy football show. We call it the Mac Attack going forward. Our phone number, 913-586-7965. Get to your phone calls at about 10:30 after the segment. Also, the Jay Southland Tow Service text line, which, by the way, is up and running. It was down for a couple days.
Yeah, we
banned ourselves. We banned ourselves. 913-586-7965. And if it sounds like you're negative, you're frustrated because you know they can be better.
Yeah.
And someone on the text line says, is Veach really the best GM if you didn't resolve some of these issues? And the answer is still yes. Dude's been to 5 Super Bowls. He's won 3 of them as a GM. And his draft classes have typically worked. Their Chiefs are number 2 in the NFL the last 3 years of guys still being on the roster that they drafted. And I always say it's a big difference if you're the Chiefs instead of the Colts. The Bengals are number 1. It's 73.5%. Chiefs number 2 at 73.3%. Big differences. Bengals have watched the playoffs on the couch the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl. It's a big difference. If you're playing your rookies, the rookies are still on your roster, and you're winning, it's a big difference. But, yeah, there can be some frustration. Now, we saw a rebuilt offensive line. Remember, they got smoked in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. They rebuilt that team. They go out and they get Orlando Brown. And I know people didn't like him, but they really didn't have much choice. But, you know, they drafted Kingsley last year in the second round. He was going to be the left tackle for this team. Well, that didn't work out. So he moved the guard. That may not work out either. And that put the Chiefs back at drafting Josh Simmons in the first round. But Kingsley got him there. Had Kingsley worked out, you don't need to necessarily spend that first-round pick on Josh Simmons, but they did. And so now wide receiver remains a question. But, yes, offensive line. Jalen Moore sitting right there, man.
Yeah,
and with Juwan Taylor, who can play – Jalen Moore can play right tackle. He can be your left guard. Again, he went to Western Michigan as a tight end. So he's got athleticism and he's versatile. He hadn't had a lot of playing time, but he's behind Trent Williams there in Frisco. But, yes, they're going to have to make a decision real quick. When Andy Reid says they're going to fix the situation, it's got to drive him nuts going back and watching that film of Kingsley getting worked and Mahomes getting smoked at times because of Kingsley and Juwan Taylor in the offsides. Jalen Moore is – listen, this is Super Bowl – 3 straight Super Bowls for this team, going for their 4th in a row, which has only been done by the Bills. They will make additions, and Jalen Moore is sitting right here for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, hey, business decisions for this team have yet to be made. Again, you can't be personal at this point. It's about business.
I mean, I think Jalen Moore needs to see the field.
He does.
I think you're right. I think it's
Caliendo might even need to.
I was going to say you could make a case that Caliendo needs to be in for left guard and Jalen Moore needs to be in for right tackle. You can make a case that we're subbing out 40% of the O-line after week 1. After that, though, dude, McCole Hardman, he's available.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, man.
It's going to come up.
They need help. They need someone who can know the playbook and can play somewhat of a McCole or a Xavier-worthy role, and McCole Hardman can do that. I think that's happening this week.
And Amari Cooper re-signed with the Raiders, and now he's gone.
He's retired. Maybe you give him a call, see if he's got any juice left, but he looked awful last year on Buffalo.
Was sitting there, but
I get it. Listen, I think the offense will be able to do enough. But I'm telling you, man, the only reason that the offense has been able to do enough is because the defense has allowed them to do that these last couple of years. I don't think the offense is going to have the benefit of the elite Chiefs defense that we've seen the last 2 years. This looks like a completely different unit. And Jay, you know better than most that a roster turnover on offense means that, okay, this offense will be really good again, right? There's more I'm trying to think less dependent variables. There's less changing variables. Where on defense, you could keep your same 11, or maybe you only change a couple. You keep most of those same guys on that side. The defense could be drastically worse or drastically better, even if it's the same guys. There's way more turnover. There's way more volatility with a defense rather than an offense. So I don't really care if it's the same guys. This defense looks worse to me. That secondary looked like Swiss cheese. And this defensive line that we talked about, Ashton Gelati, Omar Nunlot, those guys didn't play. Charles Omenihu was a complete no-show.
Gelati did, but not a lot.
4 snaps. He had 1 pressure. I'd like to see him play more. So those guys didn't play. Mike Dana and Charles Omenihu are complete non-factors, and Karlaftis looks like fine.
They almost gave up 400 yards. Keep in mind, this defense was 4th in the NFL in points against last year. Number 2 years ago. And keep in mind, when they beat the Eagles in Super Bowl 57, they were number 2 in sacks in the NFL.
Yes.
The following year against San Francisco, they were 2 in the NFL in sacks. They dropped to 18th, tied with the Bills last year in sacks. So they dropped.
They're dropping again.
But you've got to get to it, especially with the secondary, where you've lost some pieces. And you're adding pieces in. You have to get to the quarterback. But here's the thing with the Chargers. Joe Alt. Fantastic draft pick for him.
Oh, my God.
He was a left tackle at Notre Dame. In my opinion, probably the best tackle in that draft. They put him at right tackle because Rashawn Slater was left tackle.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you put Joe Alt at right tackle. It worked out for him.
It was incredible.
Rashawn Slater, same injury that Josh Simmons suffered, the patellar knee injury. And so they move Alt over to left tackle. So you're still fine there. But then Pipkins should have been a vulnerability for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mekhi Becton's on the sidelines throwing up. They don't get past their second to right guard.
So that line, and keep in mind, the Chargers, they went to throw the football. They're going to be a running football team with Najee and with Amari Hampton. They're going to run the football a lot, but against the Chiefs, you know what they said? We're just going to go out. The Chiefs are expecting us to run. We're going to throw the hell out of the ball.
We're going to beat your guys.
It was great coaching by Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's a fantastic coach. He is. And
I think the Chiefs might have banked too hard on an offensive game plan with Worthy, to be honest with you.
Just like they did a couple years ago with Rice, probably, yes. Worthy's the number 1 wide receiver, and it's not that they shouldn't be banking on their number 1 wide receiver. But to your point, you need to be ready for guys to be out. Football is not played on paper, right? That's what you said. So you need to have someone else to be able to come up, and they don't. They simply don't. Jalen Rose.
The wide receiver room is fine.
I know.
Yeah,
the whole depth. That was my story too. Oh, dude, look at the depth. The depth of this wide receiver room. Mahomes has never played with a deeper core. 3 tight ends. What? No, dude. We didn't see Tunyon go out for a pass. Noah Gray had 1 or 2 targets.
12 and 13 personnel with 2 and then 3 tight ends. It's a 12 and the 13. They didn't do it.
They didn't do it.
They did it, but they didn't exercise throwing it out of it.
No.
And if you're going to go 12 and 13, which they did at times, you got to run the ball better. You can't have Patrick Mahomes be your leading rusher.
Because
you can't do it.
And I said, we talked so much about the offensive line being a protector of Patrick Mahomes. Jay, an efficient, quality running game is just as much of a protector for your quarterback as is an offensive line. Those two go together. They are a tandem. And the Chiefs have never had both.
It's what Kingsley actually does better is run blocking.
Run blocking. It's what Creed and Trey do better, especially
Isaiah Pacheco
Trey.
had 5 carries for 25 yards.
Jeez.
Kareem Hunt had 5 carries for
carries?
16 yards. Mahomes had 57 yards. The Chiefs had 98 as a team.
Joke.
But that was because of Mahomes.
Yeah, his back
doing everything.
His back's already tired.
He was trucking Dante Jackson to fire up the team.
Yes, which people are pissed about, which is crazy. It just shows you. They'll
He can't keep doing that. We know that.
He can't keep doing it. He
can't keep trucking guys because eventually
he can't sustain it from a health point. Yes, absolutely. He can keep doing it because it's in the rules and it shouldn't be cried at because NFL fans are being crybabies about that. Mahomes,
he's doing what he can. He's doing it to the limit. You know what?
He was incredible, dude.
They hit him before.
If
he's going to the sideline, hit him, but do it inbounds. It's perfectly legal to do,
Absolutely.
and every team should know that.
Yes.
Now, if he slows down or whatever, hey, listen, I've seen so many things. Jalen Hurts got dapped up by the official.
Yes.
Before that Thursday night game. Had that been Mahomes, everybody would have been crying in the fetal position.
People would still be talking about it.
Yeah. Forget about the officiating or whatever. This team needs to be able to line up, Mahomes turn around, hand the football off, and get productive yards from this offense. Because this offense is a good offense. It's not been showing it the last couple of years because they've been 15 and scoring points the last 2 years, and they were 4-1 before that. So we know they can do it. They're just not doing it.
Well, Jay, they've got to be able to make it easier for Patrick Mahomes. Just because you have the best quarterback the world's ever seen doesn't mean you can just say, all right, man, go do it every week. Go do it. Hey, go win us this game. They were 10-0 in one-score games last year, Jay. That's already not the case, right? 0-1 to start the season. Yeah. You can't keep banking on Mahomes getting you out of this. It almost happened again. 3rd and 14. They're going to get the ball back with 2 minutes. They need a touchdown to win. We all know the story. Here it is again. Mahomes does it. He ekes out another win. That's going to stop working. This is the NFL. These coaches and these players are damn good, and they're tired of seeing Mahomes and the Chiefs eke out wins after they play ugly football for 4 quarters. And that's what the Chiefs did. They played ugly, sloppy football for 4 quarters, and they expected their magician of Mahomes to be able to save him again. He couldn't pull the rabbit out this time.
That's what an MVP is. When there's not a lot of talent around him and he still goes out and does what he does, that was an MVP. That's what MVPs do. You do it when the chips are down. You're without a lot of talent. He did everything.
He did
what an
everything,
MVPs
man.
do. Mac, great stuff from you.
Love it, dude.
Love the fantasy
Thanks for
football.
letting me get mad.
Hey, we can't talk about Chiefs and Eagles who to start in fantasy in that game because next week we will.
That's it. That's exactly right, Jay. Appreciate you, brother. Mac Attack every week.
Mac Attack, brother. Jacob Mustard producing the operation. Anyway, thanks to Mac for stopping by. And by the way, his fantasy show is great. It's on at 9 o'clock each and every Sunday. It's always good stuff to make your last-second decisions. And we're going to have legal gambling in the state of Missouri coming up here in December. So even more reason to listen to one Mac more. But our phone number, 913-586-7965, same as Jay Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Neil and Lone Jack, I'll get to you. Jacob will take a timeout. Come back. We'll talk Chiefs.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Whoa! Jason Kelsey just found out that NFL Sunday Ticket now lets you subscribe month to month.
Yeah!
He just realized you can join and cancel anytime.
Ha-ha! Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now he just found $1 in the sofa.
Yeah!
And he just saw a great parking spot open up. Look, just because Jason's easily excited doesn't make NFL Sunday Ticket month to month any less great. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel anytime. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season. Cancel anytime. Terms and embargoes apply. No refunds. Commercial use excluded.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long, and you can play right now in the state of Missouri. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on certain stats, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, and you can play with as little as $1. I love combining entries from multiple sports into one selection to see what I can do. The Underdog app is awesome. Download the app today and sign up with promo code BOB to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5 with promo code BOB. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This NFL season, FanDuel wants to boost your bets even more. And right now, all customers can double their winnings with a 100% profit boost. That means you can get 2 times the payout on NFL Sunday moneyline bets. Take a look at the Steelers and Jets. Pittsburgh, minus 154 on the money line. The New England Patriots, minus 154 against the Raiders. Or even the Cincinnati Bengals, minus 260 on the money line against Cleveland. So visit FanDuel.com/Alex to get in on the NFL action with a chance to win even bigger. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting up is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh, no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zicam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zicam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zicam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zicam.com.
And welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Jacob Muster producing the operation. Thanks to Mac Maury and Mac Attack for joining us there at the beginning. But, Jacob, you got some news.
Yeah, very quickly, we had Adam Schefter break some news that Christian McCaffrey is officially good to go. I know we had some start-sit questions on the previous segment about it.
Did you?
You know, nobody really trusts it. You know, shame on me.
He's always injured. He's the captain of the all-injured team.
That whole saying.
Yeah.
So some people are skeptical, and, you know, rightfully so with the whole shenanigans that the 49ers played last year.
Adalberto McCaffrey. That's what he is, and home of MVS and Sky Moore, the 49ers. Also, by the way, this from Ian Rappaport as well.
Thanks, Cam. The Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil not only suffered a tough loss to the Los Angeles Chargers, but also likely lost one of their top weapons, at least for a period of time. My understanding is Xavier Worthy, the electric receiver who suffered that injury right there to friendly fire, suffered a dislocated shoulder. It is unclear as of right now how much time he's going to miss, still soliciting a second opinion. I'm told the most likely option is for him to be able to brace it up and return this season. However, test pending and surgery is still, as of right now, an option.
We'll see what happens as the Ian Rappaport NFL Network get back Rashee Rice. These 6 games can't go fast enough. The Chiefs fall in Brazil 27-21 to division rival Chargers. And keep in mind, in the last decade, the Chiefs were 17-3 against the Chargers, 17-3 against the Broncos, 17-3 against the Raiders. It was a road divisional loss, something Mahomes just has won in his career. 19-2 now, and road, because that was a road divisional game, so the Chiefs will get the Chargers at home as well. But what do you think? What's your concern level at this point? Let's go to the phone line. Let's go to Neil in Lone Jack. What's up, Neil?
Morning, Jay. How you doing, man?
Good morning, Neil.
Start first and foremost, I want to say that I didn't think you were, but you were 100% right about Keenan Allen. I don't think he's got a lot left in the tank, but he was certainly good Friday night, and we 100% I believe 100% we would have won the game if he was on our sideline instead of their sideline, because he hurt us, and we didn't have him to hurt them. And I 100% believe that he would have gotten open on some of those third down conversions. Now, there's no guarantee Patrick was going to hit him early in the game because he didn't hit Tyquan Thornton, and he didn't hit Hollywood Brown on a couple of throws early in the game, and I'll get to that in a second. Obviously, I love him unconditionally. He's amazing, best thing that ever happened to our franchise. But as a leader, I agree with you 100%. Patrick and Travis could have been better the other night as leaders. Patrick and Travis could have been better in the Super Bowl as leaders, and I'll expand on it. Patrick in the Super Bowl and Andy Reid in the Super Bowl refused to run the ball. Friday night, Patrick was incredible in the third quarter. He was amazing. When he ran over that defensive back, I was so hyped. I figured that the team was so hyped that we were just going to take off.
Yeah,
like
Dante Jackson got trucked.
Yeah, that was incredible. And he was an amazing leader on that play and an amazing leader throughout basically the second half. But when it's not going your way early in the game and you need to turn things around on offense, it's okay to step back and say, we need to run the ball. You're right. Jawan Taylor's better at running the ball, and Kingsley's better at running the ball. And they don't try it enough in situations like that, and sometimes that drives me crazy. Now, having said that, again, he was incredible in the third and fourth quarter, and they should have won the game. Now, moving on to Travis. Travis also, love you unconditionally. You're the most amazing tight end we've ever had. I'm putting you way above Tony Phony Gonzalez, but that's another story. But Travis, take a look at yourself in the mirror, brother. You could have caught a touchdown pass, and you didn't. How would you like if Jawan Taylor went up to you and slammed you in the helmet when you dropped that touchdown pass? How would you like if Jawan Taylor went up to you in the Super Bowl and said, hey, brother, what's up with you not running these routes the way you usually do and not giving up on plays the way you usually do? He wouldn't have liked that. That's my point. Now, I still will say, Jay, that I'm going to move back to where I was going to start with in this. I still will say that 100% you were right about Keenan Allen. I think we should have him. Thank God you were not right about Simmons, and I'm sure you're thanking God that you weren't right about Simmons.
Well, the jury's still out on Simmons. By the way, he was the second lowest graded offensive player the Chiefs had in that game. Did have two false starts and did give up 4 pressures. Yes. Again, whether you look at Pro Football Focus grades or not, it was the second lowest graded offensive player that they had in the game. But again, it was his first game. It was on the road. So it's not about Simmons because Taylor was worth. Kingsley seemed to me worse than me, but it wasn't perfect. It wasn't a perfect situation. So, yeah, am I wrong or not? Who knows? I don't care. I'd rather be wrong because the Chiefs need a left tackle.
Right. I'm sure you agree with me. Now, I agree with you. The decision's not final on him. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. But your main concern early on with the draft was his health. So you were wrong about that for sure. But anyway, I love you unconditionally too. That's water under the bridge. I could care less. But I'll still argue that my personal feeling about Rasheed was that I wanted to just get it over with as soon as possible. I know you agree. You had a feeling the other way around where you wanted him to be able to play early on.
Yes.
And by Friday's result, obviously you look like you're on the right side of that argument. I still believe that I'd rather have him for the stretch run of the playoffs, 100% guaranteed, without having to take the arbitrator into account. And last point, in general, the whole team could have played better Friday night. The defensive line could have been better. The offensive line could have been better. Patrick could have been better early in the game. Travis could have caught that touchdown. There's so many things that went into why we didn't beat them and why we allowed them to beat us, because I truly believe we allowed them to beat us more than we. But last point, and I'll let you go. What do you think about Tart? I 100% believe the mother should have been thrown out of the game.
You know what? It's an interesting thing. Thanks, Neil, for the call there, but I'm kind of up against it. But yeah, Tart, it was an open-handed hit. And the thing is, you can't hit another guy. Now, there's sometimes theatrics go into it with other players, but clearly that was a slap to the head. No, does it really matter if it's closed hand or open hand? I mean, you're hitting a helmet. I mean, honestly, a fist to the helmet doesn't do anything either. And an open hand doesn't really do anything either, but it's the action of doing it. And the NFL's wanting to clean it up. So, and Tart did, knock down 4 passes in that game, including a 2-point conversion. So, yes, he should have been probably booted from that game. 100% agree on that. Let's go to Tony in Liberty. What's up, Tony?
Hey, what's going on, Bink?
How are you?
2 quick points. How come nobody's talking about Chris Jones not doing his job on that 3rd and 14 in the fourth quarter, taking that inside rush route when he was supposed to have outside containment?
Drew let him know. Tranquil let him know.
Yeah, that's exactly why. That's why that happened. But I mean, no coaches are talking about it, And then the second point is with Travis Kelce and Worthy. They're in this training camp all year long, practicing, getting these routes. Both of these routes are supposed to be precision routes. One's supposed to do 7, one's supposed to do 5. If you look at the video, no one was bumped. Who did it wrong? Is Kelce head not in the game and not running his routes right? Is Worthy not doing his routes right? I mean, that should have never happened on the first play of the game for a team that's been in training camp 3 months.
It was frustrating, man. I get it, man. And as far as Kelce and that situation with Juwan, again, I think there's just a different time and place to get in somebody's face. Juwan's not a rookie. It is a guy that's won here. It is a guy that's been in the NFL. I think you let the coaches kind of handle that unless you take care of your business 100%. Really, there's only one guy on that team, I feel, that can yell at anybody they want. That's Mahomes. Besides that, I don't get it. But, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. And as far as Josh Simmons, Josh Simmons needs to work out, and hopefully he does. He's on the right track. He's doing the right things. I'm shocked that he's even playing in game 1, but he is, and that's a credit to him. It's a credit to how tough he is. The guy could have moved back to San Diego during the offseason there after minicamp. He didn't do it. He stayed here to get training. He didn't miss any practices. He's doing the right things. He's taking information and guidance from other players. Like, he's doing everything right, and that's 100% credit to Josh Simmons. Kingsley's got to know better. And here's the deal, man. He's versatile. He's big. He's physical. He can do a lot of things. But the Chiefs throwing a dart in the second round of Kingsley, that's going to be your left tackle. That hadn't worked out. Guard, we'll see. It's still questionable whether it's going to work out or not. But it did put the Chiefs in a situation where they have to get tackle again in round 1 because the tackle market wasn't that great. Clearly, they brought in Jalen Moore for that. But the tackle market wasn't great, so they had to do it. Now, would that draft pick been better off in another position? Wide receiver, maybe? Maybe going forward? Yeah, that's something definitely to look at. But we'll go back to this. Don't forget the Royals going against the Twins today for that sweep. Josh Vernier's got you at noon for the Best on Deck show in Major League Baseball. Vern's on Deck show. We'll talk about that. But your calls and more, 913-586-7965. Are you worried or not about the Kansas City Chiefs? And by the way, the Kansas City Royals just sitting 1 game back. That's pretty good. We'll talk about that stuff next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Missouri, get ready! The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code 965 to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's promo code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promo.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine. You could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt. But you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. But listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. That's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. Cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. Imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt. And you can stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. Get your all-cash offer now. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
And welcome back to After Hours. Don't forget, Josh Furnier comes your way at noon. Talking about Bailey Ober versus Michael Lorenzen. The Kansas City Royals set 1 game back. Jay Binkley, Jacob Mustard, another Oak Park guy producing the operation. We'll talk to Drew Nixon about some local college football action and just college football action in general coming up at about 11 o'clock. But yes, it's a frustrating game. Jacob, what did you think? Well, you're a neutral observer to this. Clearly your allegiances lie other places. Obviously, you see the game Friday. Are you worried about the Chiefs at all, or are you sitting here going, you know what, they'll figure this out? Because we've been here before. Like 2 years ago, they did lose the Lions in game 1. They rattled off 6 straight wins. They were 9-6, losing on Christmas Day to the Raiders that same year, and the sky was falling with everybody. Is it reality to not worry about it, or is there things to actually worry about?
I mean, yes, there's concerns. I mean, every team is going to have some. The wide receiver health scares me now. You know, Rice is still coming off a torn ACL. I mean, I'm, you know,
which, by the way, if they want to re-up him or whatever,
so I'm kind of happy that he got suspended for the first 6. That way he has 6 more weeks to recover, and he's not rushed back. So his concerns for him are still like, will he be what he was before an ACL? It's a big injury for a wide receiver. And now with Xavier Worthy being banged up, Kelsey a year older, you know, we talked about, I mean, I know him very well. Tyquan Thornton, a former Patriot. He was not good for us. He's shown some really good flashes with the Chiefs, and, you know, maybe that's Mahomes elevating him. And Mahomes is going to have to carry a big part of this team. And if he does, you're going to see success. And I think there's definitely going to be some overreactions today and tomorrow when the other shows keep coming back on.
And there should be.
You got to see what this next week brings and how everybody recovers and give Simmons some more time to adjust to the NFL level.
Yeah. I'm still sitting with the wide receiver, and I get it, man. Because the whole thing with Keenan, and I keep bringing it up, man, because it drives me nuts. Because you're sitting out there, and the one argument I always heard about Keenan Allen, oh, he's washed, he's done, he's not going to play. Well, the thing is, he's not going to sign with the Chiefs. He wants to play every day. Here's my thing. How do you know? And did Keenan call you? Did you talk to him on the phone? Did you talk to his agent? Like, how do you know? This Keenan, well, he'll never play for the Chiefs. How do you know? You talk to Keenan? Talk to his mom? Talk to his dad? Do you know? Do you know for a fact he wouldn't have come to Kansas City? Because the guy might have wanted a certain ring, and certainly here. But, you know, that's here nor there. But you're without Worthy. You're without Rice. Rice's suspension can't be over. I'm telling you, man, anytime soon, because he's a missing piece. Yeah, I'd rather see the suspension come later in the season, get off to a hot start. I'm a firm believer in that. Obviously, it didn't matter for the Chiefs getting through the stretch. But my deal was so Jalen Royals could play. But that was in theory, that he was going to be healthy. The good news is that Jalen Royals isn't on the IR. Like, that's the biggest news, the fact that he isn't on that 4-game IR at this point. So getting him back is imperative for the Kansas City Chiefs. But I, like you, I see what can happen to Tyquan. And again, it's hard. I know he's a second-round pick, blazing 4.28 speed at the combine. Life without Tom Brady didn't do a lot of guys very well, did it?
No, it didn't. It was really
show.
a struggle. And, you know, he's got really good size for his speed as well, which makes him a really good
which they don't have.
Target. He just, I don't know what it was with the Patriots. He could not run a route to save his life.
And it's gotten better here. Like, it's gotten better here.
Yeah, and he was straight. Run straight, go far, go fast, and
vertical
we didn't have a
man.
quarterback who could hit him. So maybe it works here, and maybe he develops some route running.
Yeah, we'll see, but the jury's out. But these guys are going to have to step up. And the running game has got to be there too, man. It's turn around and hand the ball to Pacheco. Get your yards, man. Go get your money, man. It's contract year for you. It's just big money at stake here, Isaiah. Big money. And for Kareem, it doesn't matter. You know, at his point in this career, it doesn't matter. For Pacheco, yeah, let's go out and prove yourself. And the Chiefs, I think, will draft a running back much higher. Not saying first round. You shouldn't get a running back in the first round. I wouldn't even do it in the second round. Third, fourth, fifth, yeah, sure. Much better than doing the seventh. But we got time for the NFL draft, and certainly start watching those wide receivers as well, because they do need help in that direction. Despite what anybody says, despite what your coworkers say, despite what anybody says, Chiefs need help at wide receiver. Don't listen to anybody that says they don't need help at wide receiver, because they 100% emphatically do need help at wide receiver. Coming up next, though, we'll switch to college football. Drew Nixon, we do it each and every Sunday at 11 o'clock. We'll talk to Drew about local college football next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
FanDuel is running a promotion that I know you're absolutely going to love. This NFL season, FanDuel wants you to boost your bets even more. Right now, all customers, yes, every single customer, can double their winning with the 100% profit boost token. That means you get 2 times the payout on an NFL Sunday money line bet. So maybe you want to take a favorite, but you want to bring the juice down a little bit. Or maybe there's an underdog that you really, really like. Like you like Carolina. You can get them at plus money. You can double that and make it an even sweeter bet if you end up getting the game correct. So to place this bet or whatever you like on a football Sunday, make sure to check out FanDuel.com. Use my promo code KFNZ and get into the action with an even bigger chance to win. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement. Kansas Casino LLC. Gambling problem. Get up at your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit KansasGamblingHelp.com.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. And you can play right now in Missouri. Playing an Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stat lines, touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you could win up to 1,000 times your cash and play with as little as $1. It really is that easy. So select those Sundays and find which stats you want to go higher than lower than over at Underdog. Download the app today and sign up with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour. Don't forget, Vern comes up at noon. But now we talk some college football. Jay Binkley, Jacob Muster producing the operation. Glad to have you with us on Sunday morning. Glad to have the show back, which we do during football season on Sunday mornings, because there's a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. Chiefs, college football, you name it. And now joining us as he does each and every Sunday. Some people think I have a big rivalry with this dude. Yeah, the reality is he's one of my favorite guys at the station. His name is Drew Nixon. He's the host of 249 Miles of College Football podcast, and he takes your reaction each and every week on Instagram as well. Drew Nixon, what's up, my friend?
What's up, Bink? You are also one of my favorite people at the station. I don't know why people think we hate each other, but it's all love. It's all love.
It sounds good on the radio, you know? I mean, we don't always get along, but it's kind of like Travis and Juwan, right? They were at it, or Drew and Chris Jones, Drew Tranquil, not Drew Nixon. and they butt heads during the heat of the moment. But yet, you let cooler heads prevail. You know what I'm saying, Drew?
Oh, no, of course. And we can agree on one thing. We both love college football,
We do.
maybe more than anybody at the station.
Yeah,
So-
249 miles of college football, your podcast you do each and every week, and it's simply outstanding. You put out a review every week on all 136 teams in Division I. It's great stuff. But we were treated – it wasn't maybe a highlighted spectacle Saturday for college football, but it was good nonetheless. I thought the games yesterday were good. Of course, the highlight – was a game that was on ESPN2, and it was probably the best game of the day, to be honest with you. Missouri and Kansas, 42-31, the Tigers win. And series hadn't been played since 2011. It goes back to 1891. This is the 121st meeting, second longest meeting between rivals in college football. Missouri gets the job done, and didn't look so at first, man. Jayhawks out to 21-6 lead, and, man, Missouri just stuffed the Jayhawks down the stretch.
Yeah, that game was it was weird. The first half was a tale of two quarters, Bank, where, KU doesn't get off to a good start. Missouri gets the score. As soon as KU blocks that extra point from there on out to the rest of the quarter, everything that could have gone their way did. Then things totally turned in the second quarter. And I know Missouri fans were like, it's not a problem. KU fans were irritated because of the whole batting the ball back towards the end zone. It wasn't ruled or anything, and you can't review it. So I think in the end, the refs didn't see it on the field, and as a result, Missouri was able to take advantage. But Missouri's offense was spectacular, and I think one of the battles, and I'll get to KU in a second on why they should actually be optimistic based on how the game went. Missouri's offense, Ben, you and I both talked about Bo Pribula and how much we think he's the guy, and if he can be that level of quarterback, then Missouri's got a legit shot with the schedule and how it pans out to make it to the college football playoff. If that Bo Pribula that showed up yesterday is the guy that we see all season, I think you could bet, and your odds might be favored, that they're in the college football playoff because of the way that he was able to move the ball. Offensively, Kirby Moore did an outstanding job. Kevin Coleman, you were blowing me up about him. He is a stud at wide receiver.
And speaking of him, Drew, and speaking of Kevin Coleman, this guy has played at 3 different schools, all right? He played at Mississippi State last year. He's at Missouri, had a huge game for the Tigers. He can return the ball as well. This guy actually went to Jackson State with Dion because this guy's a big-time prospect out of St. Louis. But he went with Dion when Shador and Travis Hunter and all that crew went to Jackson State. Kevin Coleman went there too. Obviously, he didn't follow Dion back to Colorado. But if you want to know the kind of talent he was, that was the Dion coup in recruiting. But I digress. Go ahead.
No, I just think, I think that, that point is obviously very valid, and you put all the pieces together, and this is one thing Elijah Drinkwitz does very, very well, is he puts together players in the portal and finds players that mesh directly for the team that are going to help immediately. And Kevin Coleman is one of those guys. Ahmad Hardy is one of those guys. Bo Pribula, of course, is one of those guys. You can transition to the defense, and it's the same sort of thing going back to Toriano Pride when he was with Clemson, and then came over. So it is a statement win for Missouri. They were expected to win, yes, but I think the way that offense looked, Missouri fans should be flying high not only because it's a rivalry win, but because of the other things that came from it. Now, for Kansas, I said on the podcast this week that if they scored 24 or more points against this Missouri defense and the game was tight, which really the game was tight until the late pick, and then they ended up scoring. The Missouri Tigers did.
And Jamal Roberts puts it away with that 63.
No, that was what it was. Yeah, that was more of what it was than anything else. But they had a close. KU. I said if they score 24 or more against that Missouri defense, then they should be very encouraged going forward. The question now, I think, though, is the way the defense looked. Is that they almost gave up 600 yards of defense? Is that of offense to Missouri? Is that a problem more on KU side, or is that Missouri's offense could be that good? It might be a mix of both, but for KU offensively, they look like a problem, and they are going to give defenses in the Big 12 a ton of issues. People forget that Missouri was a top 25 defense last year. They got a whole bunch of guys back from that defense. They're going to have a top 25 defense and a top half SEC defense again, and for KU to score 31 points, I know it wasn't a result that KU fans wanted, but you should be encouraged by that performance against that team and that environment going forward into Big 12 play. The Big 12 is wide open. I think KU should be considered a contender in the conference the way that things have kind of shaken out here over the last couple of weeks.
No, I'm with you on that. And Zabrowski, the offensive coordinator for Kansas, getting his chance to do it on his own now. Listen, the first downs were slated towards Missouri. It's 28-13. The Kansas will compete. You saw the Big 12. They go down, like Arizona State losing at Mississippi State. Yeah, they made a valiant comeback at it, but the Big 12 took some L's yesterday to out-of-conference teams, but they're going to be fine. But Bo Pribula, Drew, this is a guy that you and I liked at Penn State. He came and battled with Sam Horn. It was a battle to some extent, all the way down to the stretch. There's going to be two quarterbacks used. Sam Horn gets hurt. The Missouri's making the right decision because Sam Horn, even though both of them have an extra year of eligibility, Sam Horn's probably going to be with the Dodgers. So they did a nice thing here with Pribula because he could be the quarterback for 2 years. Now, he came with his wheels. Like, that was going to be the difference was his wheels. He didn't have to. The big question was, can Bo throw the football? He was 30 of 39 for 334 yards and 3 touchdowns. He only ran the ball for 6 yards. He proved that he could air it out, and that was the best thing for Missouri.
Yeah, he was a stud. And then you go on top of – see, this is where I think their offense can be so dangerous because of what you said, Bink. He brings that dual-threat ability. Not that Brady Cook didn't have it, but Bo Pribula was known more as a dual-threat guy. He brings that passing element along with Ahmad Hardy, who had 100-plus yards, and Jamal Roberts, who had 100-plus yards. I mean, they ran for over 250 yards against that KU defense. KU only had 3 rushing yards in total. Defensively, they were causing some problems for KU's offensive line. But for Missouri's offense, the offensive line was struggling a little bit in the beginning, but it felt like as the game went on, you know, that offensive line that's supposed to be one of the best in the SEC, if not one of the best in the country because of what they return, Bink, they look like a wagon, and they're going to be a problem for a lot of defenses. You look at some of the other teams that they play. I mean, we'll have to see how Alabama looks here in the next couple of weeks. They got Wisconsin next week. They bounce back this week against UL Monroe, but they're going to give that defense problems. They're going to give that Oklahoma defense. That might be a matchup, Bink, at the end of the year. That might be a game where we look at that game and say, you know what, whoever wins this game might be able to play themselves into the college football playoff. That's where we're at right now. I know Oklahoma might be able to just get in by how they're playing if they go off of what they did against Michigan, but we might be looking in week 12, 13, or 14 and be like, if Missouri and Oklahoma, you know, that game might be one that everybody needs to circle on their calendars because this Missouri team, I'm telling you, Bink, I know that it might be a quick reaction, but based on the defense we know that they have, Bo Pribula being the big question mark, if they get that performance, they're going to win a lot of games this year.
Yeah, no question about it. And the 2 defensive end transfers from Georgia that did Missouri, Drinkwitz did a great job in the transfer portal. KU is going to be a factor in the Big 12. They just are. The Big 12, by the way, Drew, and by the way, Missouri didn't play on the road until October 18th against Auburn. But the Big 12,
that's crazy.
Can Kansas compete in the Big 12? They absolutely can. You look at the Big 12, they took some L's. 69-3, Oregon hammered Oklahoma State. Arizona State, that of course was in the college football playoffs last year, winning the Big 12. They lose at Mississippi State 24-20. Did come back from 17 down in that game. Iowa State did have a big win against Iowa. That was great. But you look around the board, of course, Kansas following at Missouri, not good. West Virginia loses to Ohio. So they took some L's. And Kansas State loses to Army. Kansas State, Drew, we'll talk about them now. They lose 24-21 to Army. This was always going to be a tough game. I know they weren't looking forward to trying to stop the triple option. And it proved itself out as far as stopping the run. Army had 280 yards rushing in game 1. They came in and ran the ball at will against Kansas State. Kansas State, they could be 0-3 at this point. They did beat North Dakota, but it wasn't North Dakota State. And they won with 42 seconds left in the game where Joe Jackson scored a touchdown. Their only win was an FCS team named North Dakota that was 5-7 last year. But Kansas State, they have some issues. And listen, Army's a good football team. That's a very physical football team that can run. You knew they were going to give Kansas State fits. It's probably the wrong team to play at the wrong time for Kansas State trying to get that defense going in the right direction. They were 13th in the Big 12 in rushing yards against. But Kansas State, man, I'm telling you, Drew, for a team that was looked upon as maybe being a contender to win the Big 12, yeah, they're 1-2, easily could be 0-3.
No, for sure. And this is the thing is that I thought that K-State was going to win big because I thought they would bounce back. But, you brought up K-State and them having a bad game, even though they won against North Dakota. Army lost to Tarleton State, who was in FCS play. So you knew they were also going to try to come in with some sort of force. Again, it's hard to prepare, but you know what Army is going to do. Obviously, it's that triple option. The thing that's crazy about this game is that if anybody didn't watch, and you're like, oh yeah, well, what is this? K-State lost to Army. Kansas State, when they got the ball with like 2 minutes left to go in the game, they only had ran 4 plays the entire second half on offense. Army out-possessed them 20 minutes.
That's why Klanderman, the defensive coordinator of Kansas State, was concerned about this because they're seeing a different style of offense than they normally do, and that's exactly what Army brought.
And it's ironic, too, Bink, because you look at the way that the half played out. Kansas State's only points in the second half came from a punt or a kickoff return for a touchdown. So Army scored to make it 13 to 14, I believe, or 14-13. Yeah, it was 14-13. Army goes up. K-State gets a kickoff return for a touchdown. Then they get the 2-point conversion, but the offense never came back on the field, so the defense has to go right back out. Army scores, they get held to a field goal. Army then kicks an onside kick and gets the ball back again and goes on a long drive. I mean, the defense was out there in eternity. And it doesn't matter who you're playing, Bink. I think you know this as well as anybody else does. When you're out there as long as you are and the other team is consistently running the ball down your throat, it is very difficult to not be exhausted. And that defense, I think, was gassed. So part of me feels bad for Kansas State in that regard, but to what you brought up about this team, it feels like there's like an identity crisis in a way. Like they don't have an identity. Avery Johnson is really good. Joe Jackson is solid. Jace Brown and Jerron Tibbs are very good at what they do, but it feels like they're missing an identity, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. And they're running up into a stretch here where Army was one of the games that they had to win, I think, where they play Arizona, UCF. They're coming up against opponents where if they have any shot, I think it's gone, Bink, of making the Big 12 title game. They need to win every single game the rest of the way, and they're going to need help to go the rest of the way. But they got bigger fish to fry, as in just finding out a way to straighten this path out for them to try to get to a bowl game, go 8-4, 7-5, try to make something of the season. But the way that this has started, it has definitely been a big disappointment, understandably so, for Kansas State and their fans.
Yeah, and the one thing about it, too, is, as you mentioned, Army had the ball for over 40 minutes. Kansas State was 19 minutes and some change. They had a double as long as Kansas State did. That's how long. That's how basically Army controlled the line of scrimmage against Kansas State.
Yeah, 100%. And that's something. And again, I don't think they've had their full starting offensive line at all this season. Just because I think George Fitzpatrick was dealing with a little bit of a medical issue. I don't think he's back. So K-State has been dealing with a not fully healthy roster from the jump. I mean, they had like 10 guys on the injury report when they played Iowa State in Dublin. They've been a little bit beaten and battered, but now you look at things, and I understand people's frustration with Chris Kleiman, but unless they go 3-9 or worse, Bink, he's not getting fired. And his seat might be warm to start the season next year. For what he's done and winning the Big 12 title a few years ago, I understand that a lot of it is what have you done for me lately in college football, but I don't know who else they could get that would be better at the moment coaching at Kansas State. I mean, maybe it's one of the coordinators. Maybe you look at Glenn Schumann at Georgia. You look at Garrett Riley at Clemson. I mean, there's other things. There's other places you can go, but you're not getting a head coach of another place, I don't think, if you're Kansas State, to upgrade from Chris Kleiman unless Billy Napier gets fired or something like that, but who knows if he'd even take the job at Kansas State. So I think they're stuck with Chris Kleiman right now, and that might be their best option going forward still.
And the big decision, of course, Avery Johnson, the quarterback. Will Howard, of course, leaves Kansas State. It's going to be Avery's job, goes on and wins the national title at Ohio State. Yesterday, Avery Johnson was intercepted, by Army with a minute 35 left in that game. So, when it came down to the end, you had the interception. I mean, that's got to kill him. I don't know where you stand on Avery Johnson. Listen, I liked it. The talent, the potential, we know it's all there. We just don't see it. We just don't see that talent and potential rise at times. We know he can do it, but they've put a lot of their eggs in one basket for Avery Johnson. who should be much better on the ground. About 14 yards rushing. I mean, Avery Johnson is one of those guys that could take it to the house anywhere on the field. He's that fast. He's just not getting the opportunity to do it. Then he had a chance with his arm at the end, and, well, he blew it again.
I really like Avery Johnson. I think he's really good. And I know Kansas State fans are not going to like this. I think he would be I could see him transferring and being really good at his next stop. And that's not to say that it's anything to do with him not wanting to be good at K-State. I think he loves it there. I don't know if it's a Matt Wells issue, but they've got a good wide receiver core this year. It feels like it's solid. And, I mean, he's looked good throwing the football. He hasn't quite had that dual threat ability where he's shown off the running as much this year. And I don't know if it's because Joe Jackson isn't providing enough of a combination for him to be effective in the run game, or if teams are just like, you know what, we're going to let Avery throw the ball around the yard and we're just going to be okay with it. But and they're not going to let Avery beat them on the ground. I don't know if that's something other defenses are preparing for, but it feels like this is a year where, depending on how things go, I wouldn't be surprised if Avery Johnson left similar to Will Howard and was very successful at his next stop. And again, I don't mean that to be shade at Kansas State. It's just that, again, I think they just lack an identity. It doesn't feel – you don't feel like this Kansas State team does something really, really well and they stick to it. It feels like they're kind of playing things by ear and they haven't really figured out their identity yet, and as a result, they're really struggling against whoever they've played so far.
Yeah, you just got to figure it out. It's like Missouri. They had some issues on the line. They figured it out real quickly. Caden Green's one of the best offensive linemen in the country. He was a guard. He moves the tackle. Yeah, took aways. It was much better this game than others. But anyway, Caden Green moved. Kansas State's got to figure those things out as well. Good stuff, Drew. We didn't even get to USF knocking off Florida in the swamp, as they're now 2-0 against two ranked teams preseason. That's definitely the storyline nationally.
Hey, Bink, let me give you one thought on USF and Florida. So I'm really high on the Florida Gators, and that pick does not look very good right now for them to make the playoff. I'm a big believer in DJ Lagway. I like Billy Napier more than most people. This game, the story of it should be about USF more than it is Florida. They are legit.
They are legit.
They didn't only beat Boise State last week. They throttled Boise State last week. They won by almost 30. Beating Florida, that's a little bit of a surprise. Like, Florida should win that game, but USF plays Miami next week. Alex Golish is building something really good in Tampa. They are now the heavy favorite to make the college football playoff now in that group of 5 spots. So look out for USF. I think a lot of people are like, USF, this is crazy, but shades of 2007, Bink, USF are going to be back in the top 25, or they should be, and they're a legit contender to make some noise in the college football playoff potentially if they do get there based on what we've seen from them so far. Always a good time, Bink.
Always a good time with you, Drew. We didn't get to a lot of games, but we got to the games that mattered. KU, MU, and Kansas State. So thanks a ton, Drew. We'll talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thanks.
There you go. Drew Nixon right there from Cody and Gold, the producer of that show. Great stuff and great games. Yeah, for Kansas State, you got to be scratching your head. Maybe when we come back, I'll address some more of that local football and some of the things Drew said next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
This October, the whole family can ride along for the wildest weekend in Kansas City. PBR Outlaw Days, October 3rd through the 5th at T-Mobile Center. Cheer on your Kansas City Outlaws as they battle the world's best on the dirt, under the lights. KansasCityOutlaws.com. Get your tickets now at PBR.com. Kansas City Outlaws. All grit and no quit.
Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long.
Here we go!
Starting with a Week 1 NFC North rivalry between the Lions and Packers.
And he's in for a touchdown!
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Tune in to Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch. Plus, your chance to win Royals tickets during the pitch clock, following the game, or on your way home from the K. Listen to Vern's postgame show with sounds from the locker room, plus your calls and texts. Miss the show? It's available on demand with the All Things Vern channel on the Odyssey app or wherever you get get your podcasts. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back. Sunday after hours, Jay Binkley, Jacob Mustard. Do this each and every week. You know, whether me or Logan's here, whatever. But looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, looking at college football, you never know. Jacob, you a big fan of college football, or do I live in this world with Drew?
You kind of live in the world with Drew.
I
tried. There's just too much to pay attention to.
The local schools, I think it's going to be a fun year. Obviously, KU, big expectations. A team that did beat 3 ranked teams in a row last year, lost those 4 games close. And then Missouri, see what Drink could do. Double-digit wins last 2 years. This is a big one for Missouri because the schedule works out to where you get Alabama and company, and I know they had a big win yesterday, Bama, but you get them at home. They get a bye week, then Bama, and they don't go on the road till October 18th. So that is big for Missouri. But K-State, man, K-State's got some issues. I know there's a lot of Wildcat fans around the area. High expectations on the Wildcats, but stopping the run, and you knew Army was going to give them fits. I mean, it was the wrong team to play at the wrong time, trying to get your defense, back in order, playing a team like that with the triple option. It's just tough. But, man, if you're a Missouri fan and Bo Pribula, that talk with him or Sam Horn, which quarterback was going to be it. I understand Sam got hurt, and it sucks for Sam because you haven't seen his potential and what he can do at the University of Missouri. But you understand why they wanted Bo Pribula. And Bo had a chance. He ended up graduating from Penn State, and it was a guy that had to make a decision, and he fell to the weird rules with the transfer portal. And when Drew Allard, the quarterback they have there now at Penn State, said he's coming back, Bo had to decide what he wants to do. Stay there, continue to be a backup quarterback, or go somewhere else and get your chance. And he had the blessing of the organization. He had the blessing of the head coach, James Franklin, to go ahead and move, make his cash, go play. He wants to play football. Missouri made a chance. They say, hey, we want Bo Pribula to be our quarterback. It's a guy was still an integral part of what Penn State did last year, came in with his legs, a lot of different plays for Bo Pribula. He ended up taking over for Aller there, that comeback against Wisconsin last year. And it was kind of a coming out party for him. You know how good he was and what he could do. But, man, with his arm, because that was the big thing. He can run the ball, a dual-threat guy, can run the football. Can he throw? And he proved that he could throw in that game. And Kevin Coleman, how good can this guy be? Again, 3 stops for Coleman. Jackson State, Louisville, Mississippi State, where he was last year. And again, he was part of that big Dion class that he had at Jackson State when guys like Travis Hunter decided to go to Jackson State, FCS level, and everybody's like, whoa, how's Dion getting all these recruits? And he did. Kevin did not follow Dion to Colorado, but he was part of that big class. State of Missouri guy, big-time prospect, and you see why now he's getting his chance at the University of Missouri. And the rest is history for Kevin Coleman as he looked absolutely great for the Tigers yesterday against Kansas. But that was a fun game. It's fun to have that rivalry back. You saw I don't know if you saw the deal between quarters. They have that kick for money or whatever, and the kid had he lifted up a shirt that said FKU.
Yeah,
and then he kicked the ball towards their sideline.
The ball towards them.
Instead of taking his chance to get the cash, I think there's $25,000 on the line. But that's what a rivalry is about, Jacob. It's about doing stuff like that. I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. Of course, the Mr. Brightside and the chants about KU and everything was fun. But this is what makes college football college football. It's the pageantry of the fans, and fans were treated to a great game yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a really good game. I was keeping tabs on the game just because it was, the border war and the rivalry week and everything going on.
But it made it fun, right? I mean, I know College Game Day went to Oklahoma, Michigan, and all that, but SEC Network and Fine Bob and Tebow and that whole deal, they did a live show in Columbia, and that turned out to be the game of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it started to look bad for Missouri early, but, halftime it was even, and they took control.
Yeah, it was fun. 121st meeting between those schools. Rob Brenton, of course, produces The Drive with Carrington Harrison. He went there, of course, as a KU fan. That's where he went to school, Kansas. But, he said, hey, man, it was fun in Columbia. It was fun to see. Fans treated him well. It was great to see it. The game will be in Lawrence next year between Missouri and Kansas, the 122nd meeting. Then you got to wait. Then you got to sit here and wait till 2031 and 2032 when it's on campus again between these two schools. But they got to figure out a way. This game needs to be played all the time. I mean, this is too much fun between the two schools. Rivalries, this is what makes college football great, and it was on full display yesterday. So hopefully they can find a way to keep this bad boy going every single year because it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, and, I get the whole conference things, but I don't understand how they don't play each other more.
Well, it's just, second longest rivalry going as far as teams playing. Number 2, only one game behind. And it proved out yesterday. It was just a fun game to watch both these teams with high aspirations, and they should. Because, again, the Big 12, a lot of teams took some L's. Kansas will absolutely be in the mix in the Big 12. And Missouri, they're saying, hey, don't forget about us in the SEC. We'll see which direction they go. And definitely the schedule favors Missouri. We say, all right, this is the year you put things together. You had to have a quarterback. Like, you had to have the guy. And Bo Prabula's being that guy for Missouri. Very important that with him in his arm yesterday for the Tigers, doing what he did, because that was good to see. Because we always knew he could run. Throwing the ball, yeah, you always knew he could, but he proved it. Like, he proved it against competition in that running game. Of course, Jamal Roberts and Ahmad Hardy for the Tigers. I mean, great running game that they possess as well. And Caden Green there on the offensive line. Good stuff, but good stuff for local college football, except for Kansas State. If you're a Kansas State fan, that team easily could be 0-3 at this point. They're not. They're 1-2 because they beat North Dakota at the very end of the game. Again, North Dakota, not North Dakota State. Big difference between the two. But anyway, Kansas State definitely has some issues. We take a break. We come back. We look at the NFL slate for today. We'll have our picks at the end of the hour, our money picks for this week's NFL slate. But we do have NFL action, even though we've already got a couple games out of the way. You got the Eagles that play on Thursday night. You got the Chiefs on Friday. But the NFL and Red Zone and everything else, you sit down, you relax, and you watch the NFL the rest of the day. But we'll look at the top games of the weekend coming up next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
And welcome back to After Hours. Jay Binkley, Jacob Mustard producing the operation. All right, Jacob, are you a Red Zone fan, or do you like sitting and just watching a game, or do you like sitting there and watching them all with some NFL Red Zone?
So for me, it's best if I have two screens. On one of them, I'll throw up the Patriots game because, that's my team. And then the other, I like to throw up Red Zone just because of the fantasy aspect of it, where I got 4 leagues I'm in this year.
I do the
2
same
of them
thing.
are money leagues. One of them's an ego league where, that one probably matters more than the money to me. And those for that aspect, I like red zone just because you see who's scoring all the touchdowns.
But that's true, though. That's the one you really want to win. Because everybody's got the different fantasy leagues, but there's that one you want to win. The Ego League, like you say. But that's the way to do it. You have the red zone going on one TV, and you have the other on the other. And I know that red zone's going to do some commercials this year, whatever. I say big deal. It's going to hardly interfere with any of the watching. That's just the way things are. You're going to get that. But it's not going to interfere with watching the red zone and different things go on. But I'm with you. I like to have one TV on that, but I like one watching the actual game.
Yeah, and I get it. It's the principle of not having commercials or commercial-free football. That was their whole tagline.
But get used to it. It's 2025,
it's going to be like a
man.
minute of commercials in a separate box. It's going to suck because it's not the same, but it's essentially going to be still 7 hours of a lot of football.
Is there a particular favorite game that you have today? I put the big four that I'm looking forward to today. The Panthers and Jags, I know that sounds silly, but I definitely want to see if the Jags are going to be legit or not. I mean, I do like their offense. I want to see Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's blank or get off the pot time for Lawrence. I love watching Travis Hunter, and he's going to be playing primarily wide receiver, different packages at corner that could shift as the season goes, but definitely want to see that. Lions-Packers are interesting to me, especially the Packers and the move they made, getting Micah Parsons. Jordan Love, can he be that dude for Green Bay going forward? Obviously, a highly contested division with the Packers-Lions. Vikings-Bears interest me to see J.J. McCarthy, see what's going on, see Ben Johnson with the Bears. Does that make a big difference for that team? And also with Ben Johnson goes the Lions, too. What are the Lions going to be like without their offense and defensive coordinator? Will they still be, a viable football team as well? But the game of the day to me is clearly the Ravens and the Bills. And did you ever think you'd be sitting here after week one and thinking, because I think the top three teams in the AFC are the Chiefs, are the Ravens, and are the Buffalo Bills. But two of those three teams are going to have L's by their name by the end of the day. That's hard to believe that both either the Chiefs, the Ravens, or the Bills, one of the other teams is going to join them in the loss column, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy to think about. Usually you see like how the Chiefs play the division rival, so you're kind of expecting the Bills.
That's why you don't panic.
Yeah, you were expecting the Bills to take on the Jets or the Dolphins, and instead they throw them up against the Ravens, and it'll be a good game. But yeah, it's going to be weird seeing. I saw posts earlier that said, "Who will the Chiefs take with the number one pick?" Because technically, they hold the number one pick right now.
For now. But the Ravens or the Bill are going to have a loss by their name. And, it's Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. Everybody's talking about these quarterbacks. What can they do? Obviously, last year, Lamar actually probably had better numbers than Josh Allen. Josh Allen wins the MVP. So, yes, you're going to see L's by one of the names. I guess you want to see the Bills lose a home game. That would be the thing, because the Ravens will find a way probably to slip up at some point. I do think the Ravens probably the most talented roster, top to bottom, in the AFC. I think they pose the biggest problem to the Kansas City Chiefs. So you say, see the Ravens lose. But it's a home game for the Bills. Like, it is a home game for the Bills. But 7:20 Sunday Night Football, that's going to be a fun one to see where they stand. But, yeah, it's going to be weird thinking either the Chiefs and then who's going to join them, the Ravens or the Bills. One of those teams is going to have a loss by their name. But that's the thing with the NFL, Jacob. You have different winners every year. That's why it's always tough to look at the NFL and think, okay, well, so-and-so. That's why looking at schedules is ridiculous, because you never know who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. And the teams you thought were going to be good, you look at winning percentage and stuff. It's college football, too. Look at South Florida and what they're doing to teams in college football. Like, it does matter. And in the NFL, we always have a team kind of rising from the ashes. We always have a team that no one expected to be good that turns out to be good. That's why it's silly looking at things for where a team finished the previous year. I don't care. Since the NFL realigned to 8 4-team divisions back in 2002, 25 teams have gone from worst to first in their division. That is insanity. And at least one team has won its division the season after missing the playoffs entirely in 53 of 55 seasons since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970. So that would bode well for, like, the Bengals. They got big defensive issues to worry about at this point. But at least one team has won its division after missing the playoffs entirely. That's why you can't look at win-loss records. You can't go with W's and L's from last year. You want to. You think, oh, look at the schedule. They play great teams. Well, you never know because teams can fall off. Remember the Jags? They went to the AFC title game with Blake Bortles. Then what happened? Yeah, they won a playoff game. Trevor Lawrence won a playoff game against the Chargers. Then what happened?
Well, I was going to say, they went to the AFC Championship with Blake Bortles, and then they drafted Trevor Lawrence with the number 1 pick.
And it's time to see what he's got, man. Like you're waiting, just like we've waited for Herbert for the longest time. But, in Justin's defense, he did have 3 head coaches. And I think he's finally got a head coach that can maximize his potential, as clearly the Chiefs saw the other night what he can do. But Trevor Lawrence, one of those guys, too. You're sitting around, you're watching it, and you want to see what he's got because he was that COVID quarterback deal where all those quarterbacks came out, and Trevor Lawrence, but he was a proven guy. He was a made guy, so to speak, because he'd won at the college level. He'd won a national title. So there wasn't as much concern drafting a guy like Trevor Lawrence going forward.
Yeah, and I mean, he's kind of under that same tier. I mean, it was leading up to this week, and Herbert proved the haters wrong. And, Trevor Lawrence has a chance to do that today against a bad defense.
And we'll see,
does
he belong in the upper echelon? Does he belong in the upper echelon with quarterbacks in the AFC? I don't think so. Not at this point.
No, and I mean, like, I tried to predict his breakout a couple years ago. Didn't work. He got injured. Yeah, I mean, it's time to see something from him.
But that's definitely number 1. Number 2, Lions-Packers. That game interests me. Green Bay's 1.5 favorite in this game in the latest ESPN bet odds on this game. But life without Ben Johnson. Like, how much does an offensive coordinator matter to a team? And with the Packers, were they just a Micah Parsons away? And he's got the back issue. We know that. That wasn't a fake injury with Dallas, although it looked like it because he's doing a hold in or whatever. But he actually was hurt because he happened to take an epidural to play in different games. But the Lions-Packers, to me, is a very, very interesting game. Very interesting.
Well, yeah, and then you also have Hutchinson coming back, too.
Aiden's coming back. I think he'd be the odds-on favorite for comeback player of the year. Would be Aiden Hutchinson. But that'll be a fun game. That'll be a fun game. But, man, it's great to have the NFL back on Sundays. It's like you got your Sundays back, man. You got your Sundays back. I don't think there's any better day than sit around, have a few beers or many, watch the games. Hey, Oktoberfest is out, Jacob. I don't know if you're a beer guy or not. Are you a beer guy?
No.
Well, what are you?
We talked about Oktoberfest on one of our after hours, and it was fun watching you go on about it.
I love Oktoberfest beers. I mean, I drink my Coors Light all summer, no question, but in the fall is about Oktoberfest, man. I've got plenty for today. Got some Bob's 47 rolling, some Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Let's go, man.
I do have a question about another game that interests me, but I think it's going to end up getting buried, would be the Texans-Rams at that 325 slate as well.
That's interesting to me, too, and we'll see what C.J. Stroud obviously took a step back last year, but still makes the playoffs, right? And, of course, 3 guys drafted from the Kansas City area to the Houston Texans. The Rams are interesting because a lot of people have high hopes on them. Hey, the Rams can actually be an NFC contender to go to the Super Bowl. I disagree. I think it's going to be Philadelphia. I think that's going to be the team representing the NFC. I don't sleep on the Buccaneers either. The team's won 4 straight divisions. Don't sleep on them. But the Rams, they're a Stafford injury away from going Garoppolo or Stetson Bennett. I mean, I get it. Puka, he was, hey, Devontae, you want my number? You take my number. But Puka and Devontae, love that combination. No Cooper Kupp. I know he was often injured, but Cooper Kupp was a stud, but no Kupp there. Stafford's been throwing the ball a lot more lately. He missed most of training camp, but that team's interesting. That team can be really good. It'll be interesting. Offensively, that team can be very good, but it depends on Stafford being healthy.
Yeah, and they just paid Kyron Williams to try and take a workload off of him.
Yeah, 100%.
And, people say he's overrated just because he gets so many touches and produces, but he's a bell cow back. And that you got to take some pressure off of Stafford and, ironically, his back.
Rams 3.5-point favorites in this one. But I'm with you. I think that's an interesting game. I think we sleep on the Texans a little bit. You don't throw – I think they're kind of that tier, that wait-and-see tier, because I think it's the Bills. It can be the Chiefs. We'll see which direction they want to go, Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens. but on that, also wants to compete. Because I think there's a lot of teams trying to build, like your Patriots. I think with Vrabel, it's going to take a while. I think they're going to be much improved. But as far as ready for prime time, it may take another year or so.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if they double their win
NFL,
totals, they'll be at 8 games, 8 wins this year. And I think that's very viable with the schedule they have because it's a pretty cakewalky schedule. Just playing the Bills and the Dolphins gets sketchy twice.
But who's that other tier? Like, who's that other tier ready for prime time? Texans have to be considered one of those teams. I feel the Bengals in there, too. I think the Bengals in there, too.
Packers, too, in the NFC side, just because they weren't in the media last year due to the Jordan Love injury. Those are 2 of the picks that I would do.
Buccaneers and Falcons, to me, too, is very interesting. Here's the Falcons with Bijan and Tyler Algier, and Penix at quarterback going against Baker Mayfield and company. The Buccaneers draft yet another receiver. Again, it's called giving your quarterback weapons. Godwin, Evans already there. You draft Mika Egbuka. You load up. That team's won 4 straight divisions. The Falcons have a home game, same division. Can they be the team that supplants the Buccaneers? I mean, we're waiting on Atlanta to do something. They just always fall back. But Penix's a different guy, like a different cat. So we'll see what happens in that game. But I think that game's very interesting as well. That's a noon kickoff. Tampa favored by 1.5 at Atlanta in this game. So that's interesting. We'll take a time when we come back. Our picks of the week. Against the spread for the National Football League, the one game, plus get you set for Josh Vernier. It's coming your direction at noon. Kansas City Royals, Minnesota Twins, coming up here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Missouri, get ready! The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code 965 to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's promo code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Rally House. Shop every team in town. College and pro. Come on, it's time to go.
The season starts at Rally House. From jerseys and hats to tumblers for game day, it's where outrageous selection meets every fan's style.
Kansas, Missouri, Kansas State. Chiefs and Royals make KC great. Rally House. Rally House. It's your city, it's your house, it's the Rally House.
Level up your fandom in-store or online at rallyhouse.com.
Good morning, Casey's Country. Darn good coffee's now 49 cents when you buy any breakfast sandwich or burrito. Some are calling it a great deal. I call it sensational. I'm so sorry. Bad joke. Good deal, though. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. See store for details.
At Verizon, lock in a low price on the best 5G in Kansas City and be the best you. Check where your ride is for your trip into the office. Get that almost impossible dinner reservation and save big with Verizon while you do it all. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Stop by your nearest Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with the new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score Report dated 2H 2024. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99, and we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale, now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No.
So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation. Can I use the free phone?
Yes.
See, doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely.
Face tattoo?
Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Welcome back to After Hours. Does it get any better? The Kansas City Royals being one game back. NFL football, you don't have the Chiefs, so you don't have that win in the bag either. It'd be much better sitting there and have a 1-0 in the clubhouse, but you don't have it. But you got the Eagles and Chiefs next week. I got a text from Kling, by the way, Jacob. We got to get you beer drinking now because it's my job. It's my job to get you like beer. Someone on text on asked me if I like the new Quick Trip beer. What quitting time? I've tried it. I haven't bought copious amounts of it. I've tried it though, and I'm glad that Quick Trip has beer. I mean, believe it or not, Waffle House has their own beer. You can get it in Georgia. They collaborated with a brewery in Atlanta, but I digress. All right, Jacob, once a week we're going to do this each and every Sunday. As far as our picks of the week, I use DraftKings as it on ESPN Bet. Mine, the Steelers and the Jets, 2.5-point Steelers favorite. I'll go by DraftKings. It's -3 to Pittsburgh there. But this is mine. Take Pittsburgh -3. I like Aaron Rodgers going back to New York for the Jets and Aaron Rodgers getting a job done. That's a team, too, by the way, the Steelers. That other tier, like the Texans, like the Bengals, look out, 'cause Tomlin doesn't lose, always has a winning record. But the Steelers, -3, I'm going with the DraftKings odds. Steelers -3 against the Jets would be my pick this week.
Yeah, I mean, I like those as well. I think my pick this week is going to have to be the Bengals at the Browns. The Bengals have gotten off slow in the last
Garrett's
3
banged
years.
up a little
They've
bit,
lost their first week. I think that's going to change this year. They ramped Joe Burrow up, had him actually play in the preseason. They're at 5.5 against the Browns.
That was our Circa Millions pick, by the way, too. It's 5.5 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I do
Bengals.
not like the Browns defense or offense.
I think their own moms don't even like them.
Yeah, and I think that the Bengals are going to win by at least a touchdown. I don't think that there's a way that they keep it close. 5.5, I'd hammer that one.
Don't sleep on Joe Flacco, though. 10 postseason wins for Joe. He's got 2 more than Dan Marino did in the postseason. Believe it or not, Joe Flacco does. But yeah, I'm with you on the Bengals. 5.5-point favorites, the Bengals. So the Bengals -5.5 is yours. Mine, Pittsburgh, -3 over the Jets. And our Circa bet, by the way, I think was 5.5 with the Bengals over the Browns. Kansas City Royals and Josh Vernier get you away at noon. It's very interesting with the Royals and the Twins. The Twins are one of these afterthought type teams. And by the way, speaking of the Royals, Cole Reagans, the Royals put it out. He will begin a rehab assignment in Omaha today. That could be a relief right there towards the end of the year. So the Kansas City Royals, 1 game out. And you think, who are the other contenders in it? Obviously, Cleveland, you still think they're a contender. I don't think so. But the Royals are 4-5 against Cleveland. There's 4 games left. Now, keep in mind, this matters because this is the tiebreaker. They go by head-to-head versus teams, which you did during the regular season. Tampa has also made a late surge, even though Cleveland's beat them the last couple of nights. The Royals are 3-3, so they're at 500 against the Rays this season. The Royals 2-2 against Seattle. Seattle's one of the teams to watch for the Kansas City Royals. 3 left at home, though, against the Mariners. So the Royals could take a very important tiebreaker when they play the Mariners coming up here in about a week or so. Against Texas, another team that's right there in the standings as far as wild card. Royals 6-1 against the Rangers, so they own that tiebreaker. That's the second tiebreaker. And then they look, and beyond that, that's the first tiebreaker. Excuse me. You go to the second tiebreaker, like I mentioned. The second tiebreaker, the Royals, it's divisional record. So let's take Tampa, for instance. The Royals are 25-22 within their own division. The Rays are 16-23 within their division. So that would be slanted towards the Royals. Of course, then the third tiebreaker would be, would you do against teams that aren't necessarily in your division. So it would be what the Royals are against teams in the American League beyond in the American League Central. But I doubt we get to the to that tiebreaker, the third tiebreaker in Major League Baseball. But that second tiebreaker is something to watch for the Kansas City Royals. Good news is, I mean, again, to have Seattle for 3 still in Kansas City, you're tied with them at that point, because that's actually very important as far as the tiebreakers, because, yeah, it's time to start looking at tiebreakers and see where you sit in Major League Baseball with that. And the Kansas City Royals, of course, Seattle sits there just 1 game above the Royals for that third wild card in the American League. And right behind the Kansas City Royals is the Rangers, which, again, the Royals 6-1 against the Texas Rangers this year. So the Royals actually have, even though they're just 1.5 games away from the playoffs, the Rangers, and the Royals 1 game, it's an extra game there, because if the Royals and Rangers tied, it's the Royals that get the wild card because of that. And then you have Cleveland sitting 2.5 back from the wild card. Again, the Royals 1 game fewer wins against Cleveland head-to-head, but they do play in 4 coming up. So it's good news for the Kansas City Royals as far as the tiebreakers and the Rays. As I mentioned, the Royals are tied 3-3 with the Rays head-to-head this year. The Rays sit 3 games back from the wild card as they made a late surge for the wild card. Again, it doesn't matter. Just get to the dance. Just get to the dance. Look, 2 years ago, the Rangers played the Diamondbacks in the World Series. Diamondbacks were the 3rd wild card team. The Rangers were the 2nd wild card team. The Rangers win it all. They were the 2nd wild card team by just 1 game. Just 1 game separated them from being the 3rd wild card. So it doesn't matter. Just get into the dance. And again, with the Kansas City Royals and the way they're going, and I'll have my Vern's prediction. I'm going Lorenzen, man. Going Lorenzen on the strikeouts again. But I have to do a hitter, too. I always do lately I've been doing 2 picks. I've been consistent about going pitchers and strikeouts throughout the year, but I try to give 2 predictions going forward. But, man, you sleeping on the Royals? You sleeping on the Royals, Jacob, or are you right there with them? Are you still watching those scores every night? All right, good.
I'm still paying attention to them more than the Chiefs.
Obviously, but it's fun for the Royals. Like, don't forget, there's the Kansas City Royals just sitting 1 game away from the wild card against Seattle, and they got 3 games against the Mariners coming up in Kansas City. And the Seattle has not been playing good baseball. Matter of fact, they're 3-7 in their last 10, even though they won yesterday. The Royals 6-4 in their last 10, but they've won 3 straight. And it's always nice to play the Minnesota Twins that traded everybody off. And, of course, the Royals are lucky to play Chicago, America's booty call, so many times in a season. But Josh Vernier comes your direction with Vern's On Deck Show, the best pregame show and postgame show in Major League Baseball. Vern's got you set for what's an important game for the Kansas City Royals. Every game this rest of this month important for the boys in blue. Anyway, take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Chiefs, Eagles. Can't wait for that game.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Gold, and I'm letting you know that FanDuel is coming to Missouri. That's right, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. The long wait will soon be over. We've been talking about sports betting in Missouri for years, truly years, but it's finally coming on December 1st. You'll be able to bet on all your favorite